Good morning from beautiful Springdale, Ohio and Tri-County Mall. I'm your cruise director, Kristen. We covered this mall in July of 2018 and decided to take a second look since a few notable things have happened here since then, and I also wanted another shot at doing these beautiful skylights justice. This pyramid-shaped entrance was to the former Dillard's that closed in 2015. Doesn't it kind of remind you of a fancy perfume bottle? Did you enjoy the sunrise shots? Stay tuned till the end, where we've included a little bit of a behind-the-scenes segment about how we managed to catch that shot. We begin our tour in the food court, which closed in March of 2019 because the mall owners say they'll be moving the food court to the first floor. I'm not sure where on the first floor, but there's signs saying it's happening. It's September now. They've had 6 months to get started, and all they seem to have done is put up drywall over the old food stands, which makes me pretty sad. Check out these chairs, though. If there's anything I've seen in a mall that screams 1992 aesthetic, it's these mint green and mauve chairs. I sometimes will refer to a color scheme as being mallish, and it's these colors. When they inevitably dispose of these when and if the food court actually gets a new home, I want a couple of these chairs. Someone at Tri-County Mall, call me. This was my favorite mall when I was a teenager because unlike the dying by then Forest Fair Mall 2 exits away, they had all the stores I wanted to shop at. Gadzooks, Delia's, Hot Topic, Bath & Body Works, The Body Shop, Musicland, Willis Music, where I bought a couple guitars over the years. If I had money to burn, this is where it got burnt. I even bought my prom dress here. This video will not include a full history of the mall. For a complete history, please check out our first video on the subject at the link in the description.
Everything's coming up savings this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at McAlpin's May Sale Days. Bursting with the colors of the season and all the most wanted brand names. Now with special May Sale savings this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Look for May Sale values in every department. And don't forget, Mother's Day is coming up. So mark it on your calendar. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at McAlpin's May Sale Days.
The storefront you see here, as you heard just now, is a former McAlpin's that became Dillard's in 1995. This store was very ornate and in many ways was a flagship location for the chain. It had 3 levels and featured a lot of marble and brass. The juniors and young men's department had a huge video sculpture that basically amounted to 20 or 30 CRT monitors on scaffolding, but it played music videos, and that was really cool while you were shopping. It was like being on MTV. If there's any defining characteristic to this mall, it's how much glass there is in the ceiling and how bright it makes the whole property. Skylights and bright green lush plants that still seem well cared for. For almost all of the 90s, Tri-County and Kenwood Town Center, who still continue to thrive, were considered the places to shop in town. This place was packed with few or no vacancies. Up until 2010, Tri-County was firmly in the number 2 slot in the Cincinnati market behind Kenwood Town Center, and it's been on a downhill slide since this time. As I said in our last video, 2010 was when the mall instituted a zealously enforced youth escort policy that involved off-duty police checking IDs at the entrance, and it's hard not to feel this could have had something to do with it. By 2013, the mall was in foreclosure due to being $204 million in debt, and it was purchased by the Singhai Group of Singapore for $180 million. When the Sears location closed in August of 2018, the only remaining anchor was Macy's, which has held on in one incarnation or another since the opening of the mall. Apparently, the Macy's has an unused fourth floor that is used for storage, and the bottom level has become a Macy's backstage clearance center. The only section of the mall that has much activity is the bottom level between Macy's and Center Court, and as you can see, there's still a lot of recognizable vacant storefronts from national chains like Buckle and American Eagle. I was here around 11 a.m. on Labor Day. The entire wing leading to and from the former Sears is in the worst shape, especially on the bottom level. It's essentially vacant. I only remember seeing a couple people who seemed to be here to shop. A few people were mall walking and a couple more were letting their kids play on the playground. This is not an all-inclusive list, but since July when we filmed here last, Sears, Charlotte Russe, Payless Shoe Stores, Rogers Jewelers, GameStop, Forever 21, Victoria's Secret, GameSwap, Glitter, Camille Levy, Corner Market, Everything Airbrushed, and all the food court stalls have closed. There have not been any significant remodels since 1992 when the second floor was added, and the mall still feels very 1992. Teal and terracotta are the theme throughout the property. Unfortunately, one change that has taken place over the years was a removal of the huge sunken center court seating area that featured a huge fountain. It was removed in 2015, possibly due to a plumbing issue, and was replaced with the children's play area. The Dillard's location, once a fresh indicator of the mall's prosperity, was converted into a clearance center for the chain in 2014 and closed its doors in 2015 to build a new location at the fancy new Liberty Town Center open-air complex. The store has remained vacant since, but with occasional murmurs of it turning into a convention center or a dine-in theater. This mall has gone from endangered to firmly in the dead category. If Forest Fair Mall wasn't 2 exits away, this place would be a tourist attraction for people like us on its own. Since last year, there has been more coverage about this property from Ace's Adventures and a few other channels. It's depressing, especially since it looks exactly the same as it did when it was busy. I still walk in here and get that little buzz of excitement like I'm 15 again and on my way to get a pair of chunky platforms and some lipstick my mom really won't like. But that I'll wear at school anyway until I come to my senses and realize dark silver lipstick isn't flattering on me. At all. I wrote an article for a vaporwave magazine called Private Suite earlier this year, and I'd like to read a passage from the article because I was thinking about this mall when I wrote it. A mosaic of checkered marble tiles that stretches before you. A melange of neon either dead or faintly glowing. The bright, prismatic glare of sunlight through a geometric skylight. The echo of the latest soft pop hit over a network of saucer-sized speakers. Across the open entry of a department store and the fragrance of Italian designers' dreams wafts into your nose. In the face of the retail apocalypse, I go to the empty husks of these once bustling temples of commerce to capture what remains. When I try to explain my hobby to people outside the subculture, they don't understand why I visit empty malls or why anyone would want to watch me visiting them. I always describe it as ASMR for mall rats. The best videos are the ones where you can smell the Cinnabon into your poison as you're watching. You're there to meet someone new and your hands tingle a little bit with anticipation. The sound of mall soft is that old muzak echoing through your brain, a sound you never thought you'd be nostalgic for but suddenly are, in spite of finding those old tunes about lost love annoying. When you were a teenager, you couldn't imagine a future where you would ever feel that way, but here you are. The sound of waking up on the couch after you fell asleep with the preview channel scrolling endlessly, rubbing your eyes as you struggle to orient yourself. For all of you 80s and 90s children, nostalgic for a past that never happened and a future that may never be, we will be here, documenting what is, what remains, and what will be. Cruise director's log. It's 5:15 and we're about to go capture the sunrise. Time to be prepared. What you gonna do? Howdy. I brought you some pretzel flips.
If I look tired, that's because I'm tired.
Time lapse is done. Ron's about to unleash that drone sauce and then we can go home and sleep. I love the smell of commerce in the morning. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already, and share this video with your friends if you think they'd like it too. From both of us at Unicomm, we'll see you next time.